Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kodiak here, back for another video, and if you have been online today, you have seen the exciting news that we are returning to Karazhan. Now, I know some of you may be like, ugh, just rehashing old content. Well, Karazhan has that kind of nostalgic place in my heart, and I'm sure it has a nostalgic place in a lot of your hearts too, because Karazhan was this great storytelling, great environment, great artwork, great fights. I mean, Karazhan really was the complete package. Now, it wasn't a major tiered raid, right? We weren't like that was the end all be all of BC, but it definitely was an awesome part of the experience. It definitely fits into Blizzard's very big emphasis on storytelling in Legion and kind of the way that they're shaping their content to be about the player experience as opposed to, you know, just pumping out high-end content, things like that. So we're returning to Karazhan. That's really cool. But what I really wanted to talk to you guys about is the dungeon raid situation, the plan for all of that. You may not have known some of the things we're going to talk about, and that's the whole point of this video. I would like to hear, however, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. I would like to hear what you guys think of Karazhan as a whole. I have some great memories of Karazhan, and I would love to hear what the memories you guys have from Karazhan are. So put those in the comments below. We'll talk about them. We read every single one of your comments. We do our best to reply to the ones that are relevant and that can be answered and start a discussion. So yeah, guys, share your Karazhan experiences with us. We would love to see them and read about them. So if you guys didn't know, Legion is the 7.0 patch, right? The return to Karazhan is actually going to be the 7.1 patch. So they're already planning ahead. They're already working ahead, content patch to content patch. Now, the major gripe with Warlords of Draenor was that there was such a content drought. We were in HFC for a year, and that is brutal. And if you go on MMO Champion or if you go on any of the sites and look at kind of the summary of the day's events where they released the Return to Karazhan, you'll see that they have said they have our backs. There will not be a content drought. They guarantee it. Well, jury's still out on that one. I will reserve all of my judgment until the end of Legion, in which case I'll probably say whether they were successful in doing so or not. But what they are doing is definitely setting themselves up for success. So in Legion, right now, there are 10 planned dungeons and 3 planned raids. The 10 dungeons are Blackrook Hold, Court of Stars, Darkheart Thicket, Eye of Azara, Halls of Valor, Hellmouth Cliffs, Neltharion's Lair, Suramar City, the Archway, Vault of the Wardens, and a Violet Hold update, rehash, however you want to call it. The new raids that are going to be in Legion are the Emerald Nightmare, Nighthold, and Suramar Palace. Now we know that Return to Karazhan is going to be a 5-player dungeon with 9 new bosses. So that will get added to the dungeon list, and there'll be 11 new dungeons. Karazhan is not going away, the Karazhan that we know of BC. It will still exist. You can still go there and you can still farm things. So that's great. What they're doing is they're rehashing Karazhan. They're making it a whole new experience for us, which is good. That means we're not going back to a rehash place. They're giving us a new experience. So that's awesome. They also hinted today that there will be a small additional raid between the Emerald Nightmare and the Nighthold that will wrap up a Stormheim story. So that's cool. So another little raid, a little teaser there. Who knows if that will come to fruition? I hope it does. But there you go. So a little bit more about this 7.1 patch. Patch 7.1 will also have some outdoor content associated with Suramar that pushes forward the Nightfallen story. And if you guys have done your research, you'll know that the Nightfallen is one of the most important reputations in Legion. So definitely excited for the 7.1 stuff, which pushes that storyline forward. It is going to the PTR right now, so if you are a PTR person, it will be there once Legion launches. You could check it out. So the encounters have been tested internally for Karazhan. They're good to go. So you will see this content patch pretty quickly into Legion, which is my guess. So they mentioned some things about their game development, right? They mentioned some things about the way that they create content, and I thought I'd share them with you guys now. So there was a period where the Blizzard team was focused on faster expansions, and they had to sacrifice things that they shouldn't have, and that made the experience worse. So anytime somebody rushes something, obviously we know this from life experience, things suffer, right? They don't end up the way we want them to. This happens all the time when you're working on a project and your boss is like, hey, you got to get this done. Well, you start cutting corners, you start making mistakes, and you start pushing yourself into a place that you don't want to go. And so Blizzard is taking a step back and saying, okay, we need to balance giving you guys content as well as making sure that the product is great. And that's their focus moving forward. It's going to be a steady stream of good content. And their priority has always been that they don't want us to run out of things to do. It's always been their number one priority. Does it always happen? No, of course it doesn't always happen. They're developers. They have roadblocks and hurdles just like we do, but that's their goal. So they're never going to rush an expansion. They'll release it when it's done. Legion has been a nice rollout. A lot of us in the Warlords of Draenor era feel like it took forever, but that's because we were lingering on content for a very long time. So they always want to make sure there is new content in the game. So what they kind of did with Legion was forget everything that happened in Warlords of Draenor and just focus on Legion. It definitely sucked for the last 6 months just doing the same HFC content and being done. I log on Tuesday, sometimes Thursday to do some bosses, and then I'm out of it, right? That's all I'm doing. Well, they want to say, they are saying that in the future, they're going to focus on making sure there is actual content in the game while they're working on an expansion. So we'll also see if that goes forward. A big change that they've talked about is that they want to change their raid tiers to last from 4 to 5 months. Now, that is a major, like, slash of time. You know, we've been in HFC for a year, and there are still guilds pushing it, still guilds trying to finish it, and I applaud those guilds. Keep at it, guys. You're going to get there eventually. You've got 2 more weeks, so I hope you guys can do it. But a raid tier that lasts 4 or 5 months is definitely going to push guilds to push and progress through their content, right? So 4 to 5 months is not that long a time if you look in terms of, you know, a way a raid is laid out, especially if it's a larger raid. That's a lot of work that we have to get done in 4 to 5 months. So these are some really cool changes, guys. Some really great stuff coming in patch 7.0, the Legion launch, and patch 7.1. They have always been very forthcoming about what their goals are. If they hit those goals, that's one thing. If they don't, well, that's another thing entirely. But for now, guys, I'm going to leave you with the 7.1 Return to Karazhan patch. If you have not seen it, enjoy. If you have seen it, take another look, feel some of that nostalgia rush back into you, and please leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about Karazhan as a whole, what you're looking forward to most in Karazhan, and just what you're looking forward to most in the Legion dungeon raid environment. There's a lot more we're going to talk to, but for now, I'm Kodiak, and we'll see you next time.
The Master has been gone for so very long. I anticipate his return in every gust. It's maddening. Whatever is one to do to pass the time. I've gone and made a mess. Now, where was I? Oh yes. Our unannounced visitors. Preparations must be made, for the Master will return to Karazhan soon.